Good day everyone. I'm here with my group mates and we do reporting about weather instruments, weather conditions, and weather chartings. So first, what is weather instruments? Weather instruments are the tools and pieces of equipment that are used to measure the weather and track data from weather patterns over time. Scientists and meteorologists use weather instruments in order to understand the Earth's weather and climate patterns. So the following are the example of the weather instruments. So first is a thermometer. A thermometer measures the air temperature. Most thermometers are closed glass tubes containing liquids such as alcohol or mercury. When air around the tube hits the liquid expands and moves up the tube. A scale then shows what the actual temperature is thermometer. Next is a barometer. A barometer measures air pressure. It tells you whether or not the pressure is rising or falling. A rising barometer means sunny and dry conditions, while a falling barometer means stormy and wet conditions. An Italian scientist named Torricelli built the first barometer in 1643. Next is Sling psychrometer. A Sling psychrometer measures relative humidity using the cooling effect of evaporation. Two thermometers are used in a Sling psychrometer. Wet the cloth of one of the thermometers and swing the psychrometer around a few times. Water evaporates from the cloth, causing the temperature on the thermometer to be lower than the other. So next is the rain gauge. A rain gauge measures the amount of rain that has fallen over a specific time period. So next is the wind vane. Wind vane is an instrument that determines the direction from which the wind is blowing. Next is an anemometer, measures wind speed. The cap catch the wind, turning a dial attached to the instrument. The dial shows the wind speed. So next is the wind sack. A wind sack is a conical textile tube which resembles a giant sack designed to indicate wind directions and relatively wind speed. So next is the weather maps. So weather maps indicate atmospheric conditions above a large portion of the Earth's surface. Meteorologists use weather maps to forecast the weather. So next is hygrometer. A hygrometer measures the water vapor content of air or the humidity. Next is the weather balloon rather. A weather balloon measures weather conditions higher up in the atmosphere. Next is the compass. A compass is a navigational instrument for finding directions. Weather satellites. Weather satellites are used to photograph and track large-scale air movements. Then meteorologists compile and analyze the data with the help of computers. So next, and lastly, your eyes. Your eyes are one of the best way to help detect the weather. Always keep an eye at the sky and you'll usually be on top of weather conditions. That's all.
So let's proceed to the weather conditions. The atmospheric conditions that comprises the state of the atmosphere in terms of temperature and wind and clouds and precipitation. They were hoping for good weather. Every day we have weather conditions and yesterday was no exception. The conditions were too rainy for playing in the snow. The different types of weather conditions are listed below. First is the temperature, which refers to how hot or cold the air outside is. Temperature is measured in degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit. Temperatures also tells as how fast air molecules and atoms are moving. If the atoms are moving fast, it means the temperature is high, but if they are moving slowly, then it will be cold. Second is humidity. Refers to the concentration of water vapor that is in the air. For example, tropical regions would often be described as being high in humidity, whereas arid areas like deserts have low humidity. When in a warm and humid environment, it may feel sweltering to you, as high humidity can make it difficult for the body to regulate its temperature through sweating. The third one is the precipitation. Refers to all the different types of water that falls to the ground. For example, rain, snow, sled, ice, hail, and drizzle are all precipitations. The temperature of the air affects which type of precipitation falls. For example, if it is particularly cold and cloud level, water droplets will freeze and fall as hail or snow. Okay, let's proceed to the wind. Wind can be defined as the movement of air near the Earth's surface. Wind is dictated by changes in the temperature of water, land, and air. When the sun warms the surface of the Earth, the warm air rises. Because cool air weighs more than warm air, the cool air moves under the warm air and into space it once occupied. This movement is what causes the wind to blow. So clouds are collections of water droplets in the sky. As air rises, it begins to cool. Water vapor in the air then condenses, forming tiny water droplets in the sky. These water droplets cling onto dust particles in the air. When billions of these suspended water droplets come together, a cloud is formed. There are four main types of cloud. These are called cumulus, stratus, cirrus, and cumulonimbus. So, let's proceed to the last, the atmospheric pressure. Air has weight. Atmospheric pressure is the weight of the air pushing onto the Earth's surface. A high pressure system results in cool temperatures and clear skies, and low pressure systems create warmer weather, storms, and rain. So, that's all.
Weather charts can describe the weather condition on ground or at high altitudes and are the basis for the creation of weather forecast maps. In addition, weather chart is also known as surface pressure or synoptic charts, contain a lot of information that helps weather forecast make prediction about the weather and sea condition. Knowing how to see a weather charts can make you understand the weather and know what to expect. For instance, sunny kung araw ba, windy kung mapanganib ba ang pag-alon ng mga tubig sa dagat, rainbow ay oobserbahan tuwing ang may mga patak ng tubig sa hangin at lalo na kapag ang sikat ng araw ay bumagsak sa itaas ng posisyon ng tagamasid. Snowing naman kung naranasan nyo na ba ang pag-ulan ng ice o kristal na yellow. Yun ay considered na snowing sa atin. Stormy naman kapag lumakas at kumilos papalapit ang bagyo. Cloudy kung ito ay makulimlim pero walang ulan. Rainy kung ito ay uulan, and last is partly cloudy kung ito ay maraming clouds at maaraw. Why is it important to know weather charting? Because they provide real-time data to keep weather patterns and changes accurately reported and observed.